Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at one of the greatest bands from the 1980s in my opinion, and it would have been his birthday today on the 4th of January. We're talking about Mark Hollis and Talk Talk. Absolute favourite band of mine. They had some early new wave music in the very early 1980s, but then they developed the style to be a little bit more avant-garde and more in the art rock genre, and created some really quite progressive sounding music towards the end of the 80s. At that point, Mark had decided that he'd had enough and he virtually left without a trace. He devoted his life to his wife and family, and really, apart from a couple of false dawns, never really came back to the music world. What he did leave us though was some excellent music, and today we're going to react to one of my favourites. I've listened to it a million times. It's just a beautiful track, and it's Living in Another World, taken from the 1986 Montreux Festival, and it's an absolute beauty of a version, and we'll discuss it a little bit more. You're going to really love this one. It's coming up right here now. Well, it will be in a minute when I've got my iPad open.
There's no sense of lying down. Help me,
That really is. Don't tell me that that's not a progressive 1980s sound. It might not be the true progressive style that we associate with the Yeses and Genesis, but for its time that was quite a different piece of music. Beautiful, beautiful. So well written. The performance from Mark Hollis is quite unique in as much as he's that into the words and the singing of it. When it's not his turn, he just quietly sits down in front of the drums and lets the rest of the band get on with it. Beautiful sound, and there's some great lead guitarists there. I'm going to check out the band members' names in a second. Some great guitar work there. A big favourite of mine from the band. We'll do something for Mark to commemorate his passing later on in the year when we come to that date, but it's his birthday today, or would have been his birthday today, January the 4th, and what a great track to just to mark this occasion. I've been waiting to do some talk for quite some time, and it's the ideal opportunity today. So let's have a look at who's in the band then, shall we? We obviously have Mark Hollis on lead vocals. We have his longtime oppo Paul Webb on bass and backing vocals, and we also have Lee Harris on the drums. On lead guitar it was a guy called John Turnbull, who guested with the band every now and again. Ian Curnow played some synthesizers, as did Rupert Black, and then we had Phil Reese and Leroy Williams on percussion. And it was a really excellent sounding arrangement, very tight, and worked extremely well in that live concert atmosphere there. So taking a look at the lyrics, it's clearly about a relationship that's gone very much south. It's not happening, and from the perspective sung by Mark Hollis, it's somebody that's looking to rekindle that relationship, and it's just not happening, and it's very much bordering on becoming obsessive. So the lyrics go, better parted, I see people crying, truth gets harder, there's no sense in lying. Help me find a way from this maze, I can't help myself. When I see tenderness before you left, forget that even breaking up was never meant, forget. But only angels look before they tread, forget, living in another world to you. Back to the verse again, better parted, I see people hiding, speech gets harder, there's no sense in writing. Help me find a way from this maze, I can't help myself. The lyric says, as I say, it's very much somebody stuck, caught in a web, caught in some sort of circle that they just simply can't break out of, trying to rekindle this relationship, but it's just not happening. When I see tenderness before you left, forget that even breaking up was never meant, forget. But only angels look before they tread, forget. Living in another world to you, repeated a couple of times. Then we go into that first guitar solo from John. Mark comes then back in and help me find a way from these maze. I'm living in another world to you, I can't help myself. Did I see tenderness when you saw hell, forget? Did I see angels in the hand I held, forget? God only knows what kind of tale you tell, forget. Living in another world to you, repeated until the song fades out. That last chorus is probably the real kicker for the song for me, because it then gives an idea of exactly how badly going wrong that relationship is going, and very much that key line there of God only knows what kind of tale you tell, forget. It's all sadly gone very wrong indeed. Brilliant song, I absolutely love that one. Came from the 1986 Colour of Spring album. Very good. If you've not listened to it, it's well worth a deep dive in. We'll probably have a look at that at some point on the channel coming up. But what were your thoughts on this brilliant track, Living in Another World? It's Mark Hollis's birthday today, or would have been Mark Hollis's birthday today, January the 4th. It's a lovely track. Let me know in the comments down below exactly what you think about this track. What do you think about Talk themselves? How good an artist was Mark Hollis, and should he really have continued rather than perhaps just coming away and retiring that was far too prematurely? Loved your company today. Thanks very much for joining me, and we're going to see you again on the album review channel very soon. Bye for now.